So welcome to the Diversity Dialogue. With me, I have two youths who are about to break in or breaking in or broken into cybersecurity. I have Anthony Gomes. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thank you very much, Ashwin. I appreciate it.
And I have Shailynn Hacker. Welcome to the show, Shailynn.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So why don't we start off with you, Shailynn, since we're at, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you are and your journey into cybersecurity, and same thing for you, Anthony, and then we'll jump in.
Okay, so my name is Shailynn Hacker. I'm an upcoming senior in a offensive cybersecurity track. I have previously completed an internship. It was my first break into the industry. Prior to starting, I was a nursing student for 5 years. So very much a swap to the opposite side of the spectrum for me. But I've been enjoying it so far, and I'm very excited for all of the changes that are going to be coming.
Great to hear. Anthony, your story.
So I'm Anthony Gomes. I am actually a finance professional at Charles Schwab. The way I got into cybersecurity was actually, I was sitting at home watching YouTube, and I was like, I need to find something I'm passionate about. And I'm watching a YouTube video, and it's actually Network Chuck. And I didn't know anything about tech, but I just found myself always watching his videos. And I was like, I think I found what I love doing, and that's technology. And so I went to go meet with my mentor. I'm like, hey, I love tech. Like, what are some areas I can do in tech? And he was like, cybersecurity or AI. And I looked into AI, and I was like, I think I'm more fit for cybersecurity. So that's how I found that route.
Good. Okay, so you already jumped the gun. You're already on to the first question.
Yeah.
No, but again, I think can you elaborate on that, because lots of people, and you mentioned 2 or 3 things over there, Anthony, that I want to double click on. Right, one is a mentor, and one is a mentor actually giving you valuable advice, and then you self-selecting out of things that you're not interested in, and then making that decision. So, number one, how did you find that mentor? How did he or she come about? Number 2 is, how quickly were you able to eliminate the fact that you don't want to go into AI, and therefore cybersecurity became your focus?
So I actually I'm actually lucky. I've known my mentor since I was about 12 years old. He's a family friend. Yeah, I've known him my entire life. He's actually the one that gave me my first job in tech. And it's actually funny, back when I used to work for him, he was like, hey, if you want to be successful and work in tech, he's like, I'll help you out. And I was a young 17, 18-year-old kid. I'm like, now I'm fine. I want to make money. I'll go into finance. And so now 7 years later after that, I'm like, man, he was right. I should have gone into tech, and I actually loved it. And the way I found the difference between AI and cybersecurity, me choosing cybersecurity, I actually took a intro to cybersecurity class, but I know it's a question later down the line, but I took an intro to cybersecurity class just to see if I even liked it. And I ended up loving it. And that's how I decided this is the route I want to take.
Wow. Okay. So Shailynn, pointing the spotlight on you, I know you gave that intro, but it is something that many youngsters do struggle with, right? Which is they've invested the time and effort into a certain career, and at some point you realize this isn't what I really want to do, right? So how did you get over that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, if you will, and then how did you end up kind of choosing this?
Oh, imposter syndrome is going to hit everybody so hard. I know that's a question later, but that's like one of the biggest myths is like when you swap fields, people say, oh, well, if you're passionate, you're not going to have any doubts. And that's entirely not true. I could be as passionate as I want to be about absolutely anything, which I was about nursing. Ever since I could talk, I was preaching to everybody that I was going to be nothing but a nurse. That was my life's goal. And 5 years into college, I woke up one day and I was like, don't think I'm going to be a nurse anymore. I refer to it as my quarter life crisis. And I just thought to myself, like, what else is there that I could be passionate about? And one of my favorite quotes from a VP that I used to work with, he said that people talk about finding your passion as if you're going to find it on the floor. And he's entirely right about it. I mean, it's not something that you just stumble upon, and it's not something that you can really find when you're really looking for it. It's kind of something that comes to you when you're really not looking for it. And the imposter syndrome, it does hit you. You can think that you've got everything planned out. You can think that, it's foolproof and you know exactly what you're doing. but then the next day the imposter syndrome hits and you're like, what if this was a mistake? What if you're not actually passionate about this? What if you're not actually going to like this later? What if you're going to get back to square one? And my advice for anybody who's swapping industries or majors or anything like that is just accept that it's part of the process and it's entirely natural to feel those things. And you're going to sort it out in your own way, in your own time. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what Shailynn said, I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was like, by the time I'm 28, I need to be successful. I need to make six figures and all this stuff.
Correct.
And then I was sitting at home. I'm like I'm in finance. This is cool, but this is not what I love. And then once I kind of let go of that unnecessary burden I was putting on myself to be successful and give myself a time limit, then everything came, and it was like, now my eyes are open to what I actually want to do.
Exactly. And that makes it a lot easier for you too, when you really have that self-evaluation moment of, even though I've been working towards this particular goal for such a long time, and it kind of feels like a waste, it's still not quite it.
Yeah.
And I really want what that it is, because that's what's going to keep me going, for the next 50 years before I retire.
Exactly.
When you think of it that way, you're like, I need that it to sustain me for, another 50 years.
You guys are so mature. I mean, my hat's off to you, seriously, right? I mean, all kidding aside, I think as I've started doing these diversity dialogues, and Friday is my focus on youngsters, it just amazes me the level of maturity. So again, kudos to you for that. Shailynn, one question for you, right? Again, back to what Anthony was talking about over here. What has the role of mentorship played in your life? Have you had one or two mentors who have helped you, or was it self-discovery for you?
My mentor for life has always been my mom. My mom has been one of those people that she has walked all different paths of life to make ends meet as, a teen mom. But she always knew that she could adapt to anything. And as I was growing up, I realized that, even if it's hard and even if it's new and even if it's something that's scary at first, you can adapt to it and you can make it a success for yourself and for the people around you. So really my mom has always been my mentor for me. My manager that oversaw my internship, I did an internship over the summer for H&R Block. She was a mentor for me for sure. She was very much, she was a little apprehensive at first because when I came in, I'm a very transparent person. So when I came into my internship, I think the first thing I said to her when I met her for the first time was, there's a lot that I don't know. And I don't want you to feel like it is your absolute responsibility to help me fill those gaps. That's my responsibility. Wow. But I would appreciate whatever guidance you can provide for me, to lead me in the right direction. And she was all about it. And having that as my first experience, with some of the leading, professionals in the cyber industry, it was very encouraging to me. It really helped me view the industry as a little bit more approachable, if I could say it that way.